What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Brianca Jay. And now, welcome to my little corner internet where we talk all things books. We go over literature, summaries, great stories, and we even do like analysis. So if you're a college student, professor, or just a book lover, this is the page to go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment on. Now, I do try to come in as often as possible to give you all the good stuff I'm reading. Today, I am back with the last part of offensive strategies on 33 strategies of war. I don't know if I've mentioned, well, I know I've mentioned it several times, but this book, I love it. Like, it's just, I love it so much. It is just so abundant with material that I can utilize and respect. And so, without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so last time I gave you guys like half of the offensive strategies section because one, it was just a heavy read. Like, it was just a lot to go over, and I had already hit 20 minutes. So today, I'm going to give you the second half, and then I'm also going to drop another video, maybe tomorrow, where we'll go over the guerrilla warfare, and that'll be the end of our series. And I'm now reading Leadership by Henry Kissinger. So if you guys want to know more about that book, let me know. I'll break it down for you guys. Or I'll give you like the best things I've learned from it. Also, I've told you guys I've been reading in the gym. You see me. I look good. Okay, no, but let's get for real now. So the 14th strategy here is that overwhelm resistance with speed and suddenness. They call it the Blitz Creek strategy, and it's slow at the start with a well-planned attack, and then they move really fast and sure. And so basically they call it the slow, quick. And in 1218, Genghis Khan attacked and defeated the powerful Muhammad II of Khwarizm, starting with a series of small, deliberate attacks that looked like losses. He then made serious and speedy attacks to defeat Muhammad. So that was his whole thing, like slow, almost weaken their make them think it's not coming, right? Be so slow. It's this quote in Game of Thrones. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, guys. And I'm also watching House of Dragons. So if you're watching House of Dragons, what's up? But in the original Game of Thrones series, Tyrion tells his sister Cersei, talking about when you are happy and you think nothing can come, your joy will turn to ashes in your mouth. And yeah, that's like the slow, quick strategy. Like, make them feel like nothing's ever going to come. They've won. They've defeated you, and then you attack with such strategy and maneuver that, they don't even see it coming. So these are some of the things here is small units provide mobility. You need to have superior coordination in order to succeed. And then quick orders through light chains of command. So, yeah. So, basically, move quickly. Being small is to your advantage, right? Because you can move fast. But your superior or coordination, you guys need to really be trained. So, small and trained is bit better than a large organization that moves, because they can't move as quickly. And then, don't be so detailed in your orders. Kind of allow the spontaneity of your team to make it all happen. 15. There is no reversal. You must have control, although you may not want to show it. So you have to control the dynamic. You have to force your strategy. So be in control. Be assertive. Control your opponent's mind. Move them into your territory. This reminds me of a quote. I know, right? All my movie references today. But at my big fat Greek wedding, she tells her daughter, like, your husband is the head of the family, but you are the neck. So your husband is in control, but you steer him, right? Your neck is in control of where you can see and what you can focus on. You steer him in the direction of your liking. The next thing we have here is, he says, the art of ultimate control. Make the first move. Fight on your territory. Where you are comfortable, look for your opponent's weakness and draw them into it. Deceive your opponent to make them think they are in control. Right? So in 1942 and during World War II, Rommel used similar units on North Africa deserts to strike the British. He kept the units moving continuously like ships at sea, reducing the ability to attack them. Often he rode with the front line of attack in order to shorten the information chain. During the Civil War, General Sherman faced off with General Johnson in battles over Richmond. He played to Johnson's paranoia and his overall defensive nature. He continued the tactics against General Hood in Atlanta, Georgia, and took the city in a surprise move. So it says, even a psychiatrist used like hypnotherapy among other techniques to help his patients, but occasionally his patients would not cooperate with his therapy. He would gain control through various means, including hypnosis, deception, and reversals. So 16 is no reversal. Everyone, regardless of structure, has a center of gravity. So hit them where it hurts. The center of gravity strategy. Attack the central point, be it the command center and supply lines, belief system, capture and destroy it. So this reminds me of back when the natives were fighting with the colonialists, or the now Americans, and what they did was the colonialist pilgrims could not beat the Native Americans at war. Like, they just couldn't do it. They knew the land too well. They were very strong, and they were eliminating them. And so they were like, instead of fighting the natives directly, what if we attack the buffaloes? And in that time, they killed 4,000 buffaloes, pretty much starving out the Native Americans, and were able to win in that manner. So not the direct hit, but hitting their center of gravity. And so the key here is to find the center point of your opponent and attack it, be it communication, media, or supply lines. Dividing your team can generate a deft and mobile force, is the next law. Defeat them in detail, the divide and conquer strategy. So it's to look at the parts and determine how to control the individual parts, create dissension, and leverage it. So the keys to warfare here is to divide groups, and they are easier to conquer. We see this right here in America when we have politics and going on, and new campaigns going on. It's always this need to divide us, even demographic wise. Oh, the blacks are going to vote this way, the whites are going to vote this way, the blues are going to vote this way, the reds are going to vote this way. Things would be better if Mexicans weren't taking our jobs. Things would be better if such and such wasn't doing this. And this trick has been going on since like the 1915s. Like, this has been a thing. It's not new. Like, they're always looking for new ways to divide and faction us. And the more you can divide us, the easier we can be conquered. And it's such a sad thing because we fall for it every single time. But it is effective on the offensive, right? If you can divide your enemies, you can conquer them. So just finding ways to make them feel different, right? I think even when we were like fighting for abolition of slavery in America, the poor whites would have fought with the black Americans, but they kept saying, but you're not, even at your poorest, you're not a nigger. Right? It was that kind of thought process. And they were giving them little spoils to make them feel better than their situation was, so that they wouldn't go into unity with the blacks, because they knew that if we were to unify, then we could overcome the political systems that keep all of us in a position of inferiority. Law 18 is about occupying the opponent's position. You can reverse it on you by making don't allow it to reverse on you by making you look too much like them, losing differentiating factors. So you have to expose and attack your enemy's soft plank. It's called the turning strategy. Bait them for a frontal attack, and then extend your opponent's ranks and the distraction. Have your forces attack the exposed plank or rear. So one person who did this was Julius Caesar. He perfected the art of indirect fighting. Although there were many times when he enlisted the direct method, there are many cases where he fought indirectly. Notably were the power struggles with Pompey. Much of his work was done by showing Pompey's men his kindness and honest treatment of his troops. This worked to get many of his opponent's troops to just surrender instead. So for a key to strategy here is use charm and flattery to lure your opponent to drop his guard. Show your opponent's bad traits. Indirection is the key to modern day business battles. So just all of that, right? Nextly is no reversal without 100% success. You are left open to reprisal. So we're talking about envelope the enemy, the annihilation strategy. Maintain constant pressure on your opponent to defeat their willpower. Surround, surprise, and rout them, right? So your keys to warfare here is surround potential competition by buying land and infrastructure they needed to compete with them. You use what you have in abundance. Create the feeling of being surrounded by attacking forms from nowhere. And then the next one is there is no advantage of a direct attack. Maneuvering, though, can give you too many options and can paralyze your advance. So maneuver them into weakness, the ripening of the sickle strategy. So continue calculating moves in your position. This will enable you to control the situation and bewilder and exhaust your opponent. It says maneuver warfare, create flexible plans with many options, make plans that keep your opponent in check and always on a new defensive, make plans that give you room to maneuver, make plans with slight irrationality to puzzle your opponent. And he has some different examples. One being the master samurai who was challenged by this unarmed swordsman, and he practiced the special level of martial arts and moved the challenge to an island, right? His challenger stepped from the boat, pushed the boat away from the shore, and outmaneuvering the young, and then he ended up stranding the guy, which leaves this man stuck on this island by himself. So instead of fighting him, he's just like, okay, well, we're on this island, we have to fight here, it's the location, but now you can't leave because it's your boat. So it says the next one is moving too far, being too aggressive can embitter your opponent and others, creating animosity and prolonged resentment, leading to retribution. So it says negotiate while advancing. It's a diplomatic war strategy. It says when negotiating a settlement, you should not let up on the pressure to advance. This provides you more to negotiate with and does not give your opponent time to regroup. So you keep attacking while you also determine, diplomacy tactics. This is gonna kind of push them in a corner, right? They're like, I need to hurry make a decision before my situation gets worse. And so in this way, you can kind of get the upper hand in the diplomatic offers and like give them opportunity to like, listen, I don't really want to fight that much, but if I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna win. But it's up to you to stop this. If you simply agree to my terms, people can live, your life can go on, let's stop while we're ahead kind of thing. But also showing your strength and showing that you are willing to do anything necessary can kind of make people immediately make new judgments. So it says be amiable but focus on the goal of advancement. Negotiate with your opponent. Negotiation give your opponent time to regroup. Ask for a little, you get only a little, and maintain pressure and advance and give your opponent reason to conclude. The next thing is know how to end things, the exit strategy. Know when you are beat and cut your losses. Know how to win with flair and bring a positive conclusion to the encounter. Reduce your opponents in the future. So it says dreamers never complete, their end is always poor. Closure needs satisfaction for all involved. Humiliation of the defeated only creates animosity. So this is more of like once the war is won, understand that there is no endings, only transitions, and that when you complete a mission, you want to make sure you tie everything up very neat, right? When a war is ended, we need to sit together and have terms of peace. When we are leaving a job, we need to find a way to say thank you for the, opportunity, and make sure that you're leaving things on good terms. Never leave things in such a biting way that someone may be harboring animosity towards you. And another example of this is the movie Heat, where he kind of like is trying to get out the game, so he like snubs the young guy coming up. And by the end of the movie, out of all the people that were trying to get him, it was the guy he snubbed on the elevator like he was a nobody who ended up being the cause of his demise. So just kind of being aware that when you are like winning, you also don't want to cause enemies. So that's why good sportsmanship is important. You're always, shaking hands after a game. Anyway, that is the end of part 4, which was all about offensive war strategies. The next video, which is going to be the last video, is going to be about unconventional war or guerrilla warfare, where you fight a little bit, quote unquote, dirty to get things done. I actually thought that part 4 was my favorite part, but when I started reading guerrilla warfare, I was like, oh, hold up. This is the key to your day-to-day battles right here. So stay tuned, and then, of course, I'll see you next time. Make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, your girl got to get to the gym now, but I'll be back tomorrow.